From PNC News, it's your host, Jolene Toves.
Half a day, I'm Jolene Toves, and this is Coffee with the Candidates Double Shots. Today, joining us is Cwtc, who is a senator with the 35th legislature. She is seeking re-election under the Republican ticket for the 36th legislature. Welcome, Tello. Welcome. All right, now just getting straight into it. Recently, just yesterday actually, a class action lawsuit was filed in the District Court of Guam, challenging Governor Leon Guerrero's executive orders, particularly in regards to businesses being shut down. Now, it's going on about 196 days for some businesses who have had to close their doors in response to the pandemic. What are your thoughts on the governor's continued EOs and restrictions for businesses amidst these closures and the loss of revenues and really the viability of the futures of these establishments? What are your thoughts on this?
Thank you so much for that question. You know, it's heart-wrenching to see that so many people are out of jobs so quickly, you know, in one pandemic. We understand the ramifications of what's happening, not just on the health perspective, but on the economy as well. And I understand the frustrations of those individuals who are actually filing these lawsuits, these class action lawsuits, which I'm paying very much attention to. I've looked at legislation. I've looked at the Organic Act of Guam. Chapter 19, Title 10 has my mind, you know, going through to trying to connect the dots between what's done locally, the law locally, versus the Organic Act to give her the authority. And in the Organic Act of Guam, it does give the governor the authority to oversee Department of Public Health and Social Services. And then when you go to the local law, it actually spells out. And I believe that these executive orders that are coming down are being done every 7 days or nothing over 30 days, that she stays in compliance with it. But the one thing that has to be proven is the fact that there is an immediate danger. There is, you know, will cause much harm to the community. And that's what's going to be stated in court, because if those who are coming up with the class action suit must show that there is no immediate danger to our community, and then the governor is going to have to come out and prove that there is an immediate danger and there is a situation. And we all know that she's probably going to use the hospital as an excuse. But I think when we watched the recent case in Pennsylvania that came out with their findings, and they're probably taking that one to the appellate court as well. The difference there is that there was no time frame on it. It was a perpetual time frame. It'll go on and on and on for this emergency shutdown. So they found that it was not right, ruled in their favor, and now they're going to the the appellate court from there. But the thing that the legislature can do at this point, you know, is two things. We can introduce legislation by law, statute, to override her authority to shut down, or we can do it in resolution format. The reason why you want to do it in resolution format is because you don't need the governor's signature. And we all know that if we were to introduce legislation in bill format, statute format, which would be stronger, by the way, it would require her signature. So it's difficult right now in this legislature. I hate to say it, but there are a lot of rubber stampers in this legislature, and it's going to be hard to even get, you know, 6 or even 7, let alone 10 if she were to override it. So there's a lot of legality in here. What gives her the authority to do so? But I'm speaking with a lot of people who are in California, friends of mine in California. I just spoke to a good friend of mine who's visiting Europe as well. And there it's been like COVID is not there anymore. People are wearing their masks when they go into buildings, but it's now up and running. You know, it's back to some normalcy. And I think that's what's needed here. I mean, we're living in this ICU called Guam, and that needs to be addressed. I think we're all looking forward to seeing the outcome of this. I'm sorry to be so long-winded about it, but
no, not at all. Thank you. Yes. Well, thank you so much for that. Now, coming into the legislature, on the 36th legislature, what are you planning to do given this pandemic? Just a quick 30-second, what are your plans?
Well, I'd like to continue pushing for the new public hospital. That was the first bill that I introduced, Bill 5, to create a task force to discuss this. And this was in the beginning of 2019. And it finally passed. So I want to continue to see through that one, getting the hospital up and running, a new hospital, as well as, continuing to provide funding for public public safety. And I've done that through technology to get these cameras up and running to assist there. But there are several things that I have been doing that needs to be, followed through. Yes. And I'm a type of girl who likes to follow through. So there's a lot to do.
All right. Well, great. Thank you so much. Well, don't go anywhere. Up next is Shimmy from Power 98. The Shimmy Shack is about to take over with a few more questions for Tell Us How to Be.
From Power 98, it's your host, Shimmy.
And welcome to Coffee with the Candidates. It's me, your girl, Shimmy, and we're going to have a little fun right now. I got my girl, Senator Tella, on the B-Day list. Whoa, on the Zoom cam. Hi, Tella, how are you?
Hey, Shimmy. How you doing?
I am good. I want to say thank you so much for letting me interview you. I'm super excited.
Yeah, so am I. First time I've seen you. It's great to see you on the screen.
Thank you. Likewise. I got a couple of fun questions that I want to ask you so we can get to know each other on a better level. Tell me about your family.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm originally from Inalacan, the southern side. I'm a southern girl.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. From there, my father is Jose Kineni Pairigui, so it's deep south, all the way to Marisa too. I have two beautiful children. One's a paramedic, and the other one is going to school in Seattle. So,
nice.
Doing okay. With trying to keep that connection always, but when they're young, they got their own life, and you got to learn to cut the wings.
Right. As the youngest child, my mom always said, she's like, I don't want to let you go, Shimmy. I'm so sorry. But I was like, Mama, I got to fly, girl. I got to go.
Yeah.
So what have you been doing to keep busy during quarantine?
Oh, gosh, it's been nonstop. Especially sitting in my position, taking a lot of phone calls, doing my research, interview, not just here on Guam, but what's happening everywhere in the world, especially the States. So it's pretty much been nonstop for me. Even going through we're going to the legislature, certain times, and so it's been very busy. So there's usually not a whole lot of time to watch Netflix.
Right. Speaking of Netflix, if you could pick one show that you would just want to binge watch, what would it be?
One show? Oh gosh, it would have to be with law. I love law.
Okay.
I can't even remember the name of it. It's already off. I binge watched that one.
Okay.
But anything that has to do with law.
Okay, I'm down for that. Down.
Yes.
Now, of course, when you watch movies, you gotta have a snack. So if you could have one food for the rest of your life, what would you pick? Okay, I'll make it easy for you. One meal.
One meal?
Uh-huh.
Oh my God. So anything that says dessert.
Oh, I like your style.
Sweet tooth person. So anything with, I don't care for candy. I just want, give me the cake, give me the cupcake, the donut, a cookie. I'm a dessert. So I could sit forever and nonstop,
I like that. I like that. Me too. I'm a sweets kind of girl. Now, what's your favorite thing about Guam? What do you love the most about our island? I know there's so many things, but what's your favorite?
Oh, the people, by far.
I love it. Yes.
The people, and even visitors who come to Guam. That's the first thing they say. I mean, the beach, beautiful, sunshine and everything like that we have. We live in paradise. But I think what puts us apart from anywhere else is our people.
I agree.
Right?
So, Miss Tola, I'm having so much fun with you, but I do have a question from the community that I want to ask you. Okay, so COVID-19 may be around for a long time. What ideas do you have where we could function normally amidst the pandemic in the upcoming years?
Well, of course, it's washing your hands, it's wearing your mask, being conscious of your environment, ensuring that you're 6 feet apart. I mean, that's what we need to do, to try and incorporate that into a type of normalcy. And we're seeing it in other places like Europe, as well as other countries in like Singapore, Taiwan. They're actually back to normal, but they've incorporated the mask, they incorporated the distancing. And that's something I think that we need to do. Just keep that in mind and teach our children, that this is the new norm.
Oh, awesome. Is there anything else that you think we can do to help us, of course, social distancing and wearing our masks, but any other tips you would like to give us?
Well, I think that everybody should have just a good disposition about it, that we're all trying to help each other out. And we all have families. I have a father who's 92 years old. And I have to take in consideration where I've been and then wait like 7 days before I could even go to the garage and, say, hey, Dad, how you doing? And that guy's healthier than I am, but, it's keeping him home. And not getting in the car, not wanting to go out and trying to explain to somebody who's set in their own way. That's very difficult to do, and you just have to just talk to them like, this is it. This is what we need to do. And there's nothing wrong with it, keeping each other safe.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Senator, for your time. I enjoyed this significantly, and I'm wishing you the very best.
I appreciate it. So good to see you too, and just love everything about you, girl.
Thank you. See you next time.
Okay, bye-bye.
Welcome back to Coffee with the Candidates Double Shot. Joining us now is Senator Joseph Sinagastan, who is running for re-election to the 36th legislature under the Democratic ticket. Welcome, Senator. Thank you for joining us today. So I'm going to go ahead.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm going to go ahead and get this started off. You hold, you're a part of many committees under the 35th legislature to include border safety, health, public safety, you're on quite a bit of committees. Now, with that in mind, given our current pandemic situation and the shutdown of many businesses, small businesses, what are your thoughts on their continued shutdown and the stresses of the shutdown impacting the viability of their establishments in the future?
Well, I look at it this way: is that number one, the shutdown was a requirement. Okay, that's for public safety. It'll always be money before life. That I would promote all the time. But at the same token, there's got to be measures taken to make sure that when we shut down, we're not shutting it down where it's at the point where we're basically just cutting ourselves completely off the rock. And there's got to be a little bit more sense to this than what's going on, because let's face it, if you notice recently, the shutdown was kind of like lifted a little bit, where they're going to allow eating outside the establishments, outside dining, allowing barbershops. I think those things should have just continued. As long as we get enough inspectors out there, let's inspect this. Let's protect the economy while we're also protecting life. So I hope that kind of answered it. And yes, I'm all over in a bunch of committees, and let me tell you, being an appropriation, you get to touch base with everything.
Yes. All right. Now, in keeping with money talks, right? The minimum wage is set to increase in the near future, and so, how do you think this is going to, or is this going to be enough for low-income families to get back on their feet after this pandemic? Bills are piling up. Will a minimum wage increase assist with that?
Well, number one, the minimum wage was when I initially introduced that was to be phased in a 2-year program. Remember, it's 50 cents a year. So, and remember the pandemic we didn't anticipate this pandemic, and then at the same token, we can't. I'm not in the position right now, or even comfortable to say, well, let's increase it somewhere. Wait a minute, let's slow it down a little bit. Let's put some recovery period for the businesses to recover, so that they can rebuild the business, so they can rehire their employees, and they can get back on their feet. Then after they get back on their feet, and then the economy starts to return to as close to normal as possible, then we'll consider another minimum wage increase. Because you have to remember that the minimum wage increase only impacted about 2,300 employees out of the 35 or 40,000 employees. So it's not something where we want it to be the wage that you should inspire to get, because everybody's always looking at improvement, and there's always going to be increments that and raises that the companies will give. If performance drives the train here, but we just want to get the entry level set up.
All right. Now let's talk a little bit about the middle class working person. Now, during this pandemic, they make too much to qualify for, the assistant programs that they have available out there. But they don't make enough to, to be able to really survive through this pandemic. What kinds of public assistance, could be made available to the working class person?
Well, you have to remember that at one point, Senator Lee and I co-sponsored her bill was to introduce the RISE program. And that was to give assistance to the folks that don't qualify for these, the SNAP or any federal assistance. And we need to relook that again one more time and take a look at it as how we can assist the middle class, because the middle class you're referring to you're talking about folks that make more than 20,000 to maybe 40,000. Am I correct?
Yes.
Would that be the rough number we're looking at middle class?
Yes.
Because if we're talking people that are at 50,000, that will fall under us senators, and I don't believe we're in that category.
Yes, no. All right.
So by looking at the RISE program that Senator Lee had first introduced, I think we need to relook that one more time and try to get that out and have it funded, because there's always a way to assist the people who want. And at the same token, while we're talking about that, I'm seriously considering. You remember a couple of years ago, I did introduce the sales tax bill.
Yes.
And I'm also looking at maybe introducing the make the GRT more visible, so that the people won't get to see exactly what they're paying for. When you get a receipt, it doesn't tell you what you're paying for or what you're paying in taxes. So first thing is to make the GRT visible is one. Then the next one is to introduce the sales tax. And I'm seriously considering that, introduce the sales tax. But when we introduce the sales tax, we would reduce the GRT rate. Because remember, everybody's thinking about, why don't we reduce the GRT from 5 to 4%? Well, why don't we take a look at it? Why don't we reduce the GRT, yes, but replace it with the sales tax? But when we introduce the sales tax, we need to identify exemptions to the sales tax, such as medical and food. Medical, pharmaceutical, you need medicine, you don't get taxed.
All right.
When you go to the grocery store, you don't get taxed for
Yes,
food.
yes,
And then
yes.
we move on. Then it'll make sense.
Yes, thank
And
you
that's
so
how
much.
we help everybody.
Yes, thank you so much, Senator St. Augustine. I really appreciate your time. Don't go anywhere. Up next, we have Shimmy from Power 98, the Shimmy Shack. She'll be taking over and asking Senator St. Augustine a few more questions.
And welcome to Coffee with the Candidates. No, I don't talk like that. What's going on? I am Shimmy, and we're going to have a little fun today. I got the awesome Joseph St. Augustine on the line. Hello, good sir.
Hi, my name is Joe, not Joseph. Don't use the
Oh,
word
I'm sorry.
Joseph.
I didn't mean to put your government
That's
name
too
out there.
long. I'm more simpler. I'm a Joe, J-O-E. Good to
Joe.
go.
Joe, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Shimmy, and how are you all doing today? I hope everybody's staying safe.
Pretty good, sir. I can't complain at all. So we're going to have a little fun with this. Are you ready?
I'm ready to go.
Okay, so Joe, I like to eat, okay? What is one food that you would love to have? Okay, I'll make it easy. One meal you would like to have for the rest of your life, if you could pick one.
Well, one meal I would love is that I'm into chicken and fish.
Yes.
So chicken is safe, and the reason why I used to be a red meat guy, but then as my father went through his triple bypass and so forth, the doctor said red meat is good, but not often. So I said, okay, I'll shift to chicken and I'll shift to fish. So it's more chicken than anything else. And you know, chicken, you can make all kinds of dishes with chicken.
Right. I'm always down for some chicken tack. Is that a thing?
Yeah, well, you can do the tenacte, but at the same token, you could go to Jamaican Grill or you can go to KFC.
Hey, I
So
like
you
the
got
style.
two choices.
Definitely a party for sure. Now, I know that this whole thing can be a little bit overwhelming sometimes. What is something that you do to relieve stress?
How do I relieve stress? Well, unfortunately, because of the timing of as busy as I am, what my wife and I normally do is we get on our Harleys because she has her own motorcycle.
Wow.
I have my own, and we'll go riding the island, and that's how we relieve stress. And then the secondary thing is, if my boat was running, we'd be on the boat and we'd probably be traveling to Rhoda and visiting the island or just going out on the water. It's either on the bike or on the boat. Other than that, I'm on my truck driving around, just doing what I need to do and meeting with people.
Where's your favorite lookout on Guam? Mine is the Umatic at the top of the hill. What's your favorite lookout?
All of them. All the lookouts are great. You go to Umatic, you can go to SETI. I mean, you can go to every one of them, and every one of them has its own view. So I can't really pick between the others because I have family in Umatic. You know, I have folks in the different villages. So if I was to say Umatic, like you said, well, I would have to say, well, how about Florida Pugan, where my family, the Snobsing clan, is originally, with the Taino clan, is originally from Ganhai. So why don't we go Florida Pugan? And then they'll look at me and they'll say, well, what? You're from the north. Why don't you go to Two Lovers Point?
Okay,
So like,
we'll remain unbiased. I see. We'll remain unbiased. I like that. I like that. That's so cool. So, Mr. Senator, Joe, are you an Apple or an Android kind of person? Do you like Apple or Android for phones?
I like the simple Samsung Android. It does good. And the only reason why, because the Apple is, you got to have the Mac computer, and I'm not into Mac, so I'm okay with the Android. We're okay.
We got more in common than I thought, because I'm an Android kind of girl too. Now, before we can wrap things up, before I let you go, we got a community question. So I want to ask you, with the holidays coming around the corner during the pandemic, do you think that some restrictions will be lifted?
Well, I'm hoping, Shimmy, that as the numbers are going down today, I'm hoping a lot of the restrictions start to get lifted. But I'm always going to express to the people of Guam, please be safe. Wear your mask, social distancing, wash your hands. The only way we're going to get the restrictions off is we need to all participate in all the safety measures so we can protect each other.
Most definitely. This is amazing. I am so happy I got the luxury to interview you, good sir. Nice to meet you.
Well, thank you, Jimmy. And it's great to meet you, and you look great. And we just gotta convince everybody: stay safe, social distancing, wash your hands. Get in. You know that the practice of washing hands should not be a requirement; it should be the norm.
It really
Social
should.
distancing. Yeah, a lot of those three measures are easy, and people are making it look hard. And unfortunately, I drive around and you drive around. The traffic is as if there was no pandemic.
Right. Thank you so much, Mr. Joe San Augustine.
All right, and thank you. Thank
Thanks.
you for the time.
Of course. Bye.